Yo, it's your boy Mike Nguyen. I'm not in this episode of this podcast, but you know where I am. I'm at Hack City. It's our stand-up comedy show, and it's the second Friday of every month at Union Hall in Brooklyn. The next one is September 8th. Doors at 7, shows at 7:30. Tickets available at asiannotasianpod.com or in the episode description. And listen, this month, we have a really, really special guest. It's someone you know. It's someone you love. It's someone who is really into flashlights. Fleshlights. Check it out. We'll see you there. Hack City, September 8th, Union Hall. See you soon.
I feel like when you're older, relationships are like, it's kind of like you're playing out this childhood trauma or this you're like, I realize with this relationship that I'm repeating a pattern and I'm trying to resolve it in myself.
Welcome to Asian Not Asian Podcast, the podcast with all of your favorite Asian friends. I'm one of your hosts, Jenny Arimoto, and I'm usually with my co-host, Mike Nguyen, but he's currently in Baltimore. And he asked me if I wanted to do an episode on my own, and I literally said no, but here we are. Cool. So we usually start the pod with a few shout outs to our Patreon subscribers, but Mike does not trust me, so I do not have access to the Patreon. But it is the best way to support us. So if you do want to support us, please go to patreon.com/AsianNotAsianPod. I can't confirm if you donate, but if you do, that's great. And I'll ask Mike and he'll confirm, and then we'll come back together next episode and we'll shout you out, which we appreciate deeply. It does help us and fund almost every single thing we do. Also, if you're following the news, I'm sure you've heard about the devastation in Maui and from the wildfires. Like the last episode, if you'd like to donate, we're going to link some places in the episode descriptions. So please head there for any information for how to support local communities impacted by the wildfires. That would be very cool of you. Okay. Well, I am not going to do this episode by myself. That would be so boring and just full of anxiety. So instead, I'm going to bring on my friends. So yeah, Mike asked me, do you want to do an episode while I'm away? And I said, no, I don't have time to organize anything because I'm moving. And then I thought, what if I kind of did something for women? What if I use this as an excuse to also hang out and catch up with my friends? So we're kind of breaking the glass or bamboo ceiling. We're changing history. It's herstory now. And we're doing the first episode of Asian Not Asian with only women. So today, I'm going to introduce two of my favorite people. They are stand-up comedians, actors, writers, internet celebrities, regular celebrities, also kind of New York fashion icons. Welcome to your ears, Julia Shiplett and Youngmi Mayer. Yay!
Let's go, girls.
Let's go, girls. It's a very different tone than Fumi and Mike.
Yeah.
Such a different tone.
Lots of
even the way we were talking.
I think we need to inject some of that in here.
You're so right. Even just listening to us talk for like the 20 minutes that it took to lead into this, it's like such a different vibe.
Well, first of all, we're waiting for each other to finish our sentences. Making room instead of like Fumi and Mike who are just it's just like
screaming over each other.
100%. And no mention of a fleshlight yet. You know, we're like a couple minutes in, no fleshlight talk. That's actually beautiful to me.
Don't worry, I'll incorporate it later.
Yeah, Julia will figure out a way.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for joining me. We haven't caught up like together in a while. Actually, I don't know. Summer is so weird. It goes so fast, and also it's just been very chaotic. So I'm just very excited on a personal level to hear about your lives. But I think we're going to start with kind of our classic segment. What kind of Asian were you this week? And I can go first because I thought about it first, and then I'll kind of give it to you guys. Okay, so I was an upstate New York Asian specifically. I missed the last episode because I was upstate, and I put it on calendar, and Mike still scheduled over me. So missed that episode, but I was upstate with my friend and her family, who have a beautiful house like 2 hours away from the city. it's like gorgeous, and I call it like Sims, in that they've been building out this house over like a decade, and every time I go, there's like a new feature added, and so they added a pool last year. And so I was like, I have to get up there and like have a pool day. I have like not been in a bathing suit this summer, because the summer's been kind of weird weather-wise, like lots of rain, smoke, just like weirdness. So I asked if I could go up and use her pool. And I'm like so lucky to have access to that, but I left feeling so poor, like just like so poor. The fallout basically, like emotionally, was like me coming back and being like, what am I doing? Not owning a place. And what am I doing with my life? They're like so kind, but they are like definitely upper class white family with like very expensive taste. And so I often feel like I don't, not that I don't fit in, because they're not saying anything, but it's like the conversation or like the things that get complimented are things that cost money, you know, like a nice scent or like a nice top. And I think if you just like are at that tax bracket, it's just normal talk. Like you don't think about it as anything that's like special. But then I like had this moment of like, oh my God, I'm not wearing a brand name thing. Like I feel kind of bad here. Or just like, just in general, I was like, oh, like they just talk about things in this very different tone than I do here with my comedian friends. And I left and I was like, do I need to be making so much money right now? Like, do I need to go to like a corporate job? Like, what am I doing having a creative like desire? So I kind of really spiraled about that for like 3 days post. So it was like 2 wonderful days. And then I came back and like every day checking LinkedIn to see if I should go back to a corporate job, and also like spiraling about like why I need to do comedy. Like for 3 solid days, I was like, why do I need to do this? I need to like buy a house somewhere, and get married and have a huge rock on that finger. Yeah. So that was my week. It was beautiful, but like ended with this weird fallout that I did not expect.
That
I
seems
relate
like the
to
most.
that so deeply. Sorry, Youngmi. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, it's okay. Oh, good. More cutting off. We need to be more like men.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
the boys.
We're gonna dismantle the
boys now.
master's house with the master's tools, bitch. Talk over me. If I start talking, just talk louder. I had a point, actually. Wait, what were you saying, Julia?
I was gonna say I just came back from my friend's place this weekend that is technically Westchester, but I say upstate because that's cuter. But same situation. They have a pool, beautiful home, like beautiful baby who I'm obsessed with and is my godson, and like just symbols of all these things that I do not have, and I'm not even sure if I want necessarily, but feel like I should want, which is sometimes really hard to distinguish between. And just like feeling like I need to be making so much more money. And I also have like Friday, I applied to 3 full-time jobs for the first time in literally 6 years. And that felt cuckoo bananas, because I was just like, I need to make money for real.
Yeah.
So
was that from that trip, or is it just separate?
it was kind of separate. It kind of like naturally blended into just sort of a theme of the week.
Yeah.
Which,
I enjoy that both of you went to these like rich white places and both had the most Asian reaction. Like, I need to make more money. LinkedIn.com. Both of you were just on the computer like, I'm going to become a consultant. But so both of you had the same.
It's literally like, it's not the system, it's me. Like, it's like, I need to fit into the system. That's like always my reaction.
The house that you went to is like 4th generation because they used to own enslaved people. And you're just like, how did these white people make so much money? I'm not working hard enough. It's my fault.
And it's also, it's like, I had this thought where I was like, wow, at a certain point, life is frictionless almost. Like when you have enough money, it's like, everything kind of just falls into place. Like watching their lives, I was like, oh, like the things that they're stressed about are like what kind of pond do we want to build out? Not to like make fun of like whatever, but I was like, oh, this like conversation happening here is
Don't
so
belittle
not
their
the conversation.
struggles, Jenny.
Yeah, not to belittle their struggles of building a pond, but I'm like, this is a completely different conversation than what's happening with my friends in New York, which is like, do I have health insurance? Can I pay rent next month? Like, I have to get a root canal, but I can't afford it, you know?
Should I get a root canal or should I eat next week?
Yes. And I was like, wow,
also, like,
life is easy.
But at the same, like, yes to all those questions that you just said, Jenny, but then I'm also like, but who wants to go to a nice dinner tonight? You know what I mean? Where I'm like, I'm also very bad at money.
Right.
Yeah, me too.
Like,
it is
I'm
our
like,
fault.
okay, then maybe I should get better at money, but I also don't want to learn about money because I hate it and want it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like,
it's boring.
Oh, can someone
it's
just
so
teach
boring.
me about passive income?
I love
teach
that
me how to get passive income.
Can I just say I have a very, very different, violently different reaction to being in like rich white people spaces. I'm just like, this sucks. This is so boring and I hate them. Yeah, and I cannot get it. Feels like the movie Get Out. I feel like I'm the help even though I'm the guest. I'm like,
yeah.
Do I have to wash the dishes and sleep in the potato cellar tonight because I don't look like you and I just feel uncomfortable. But, you know,
I will say, I think I totally hear that. I think my friends are cool people. One of them, white, but an immigrant. So you know, but it's not even about them. It's
so
just
they were
like,
diverse rich people, wasn't rich white people. Okay, that's important.
But
it's good to know.
So diverse.
Then I support them.
I think it's more just like, like I don't necessarily want all that. I just don't want to worry all the time.
Right. That makes sense. I get that.
Like that is just like this weight on my back all the time of like,
totally.
What happens in 3 years? Like if am I gonna make? Because I also just like, you know, I don't know about you guys, but it's been like I am not making money this summer. Like it's been
slow. It's been very slow.
Hard.
I mean, with the strike and everything too, it's just like doubly everything is so slow, and just no one's making money. But then you go hang out with people like that, and I'm like, oh, it's not no one's making money. It's that people around me in this industry are
just me and all my friends in community.
Yeah.
Why is everyone in the world poor? Oh wait, it's just me and my friends.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. And once again, sometimes I'm just there. I'm like, wow, life is so easy when you just do capitalism full out. When you do full out capitalism.
You do capitalism as a verb. Yeah.
Yeah. When you just full are like, okay, I'm just going to do it. I'm like, and you just buy a house and that makes you happy. I'm like, wow, but I have creative dreams. Yeah. I got ideas to put out there.
Also, I want to say,
I wish I could disassociate for 10 hours a day.
I know.
Yeah.
I can't either.
I would like the stress of my shoulders to go away. That's for sure. Jenny, good job being the one Asian person at a all white gathering. That's the kind of Asian you were.
I had the best burrata of my life. I will say that. I was like, this is literally the best burrata. They don't fuck around
with their burrata.
No,
the whites
they don't.
Do not fuck around with the burrata.
The heirloom tomatoes. I was like,
oh my
this
God,
caprese salad is blowing my mind. Yeah.
They really know what they're doing.
In the garden.
Oh my God. I was like living my life near a pool eating the best caprese salad. And I was like, I kind of get it. Like, I get it. One day. All right. Who wants to go next? I know that's such a woman way to do this. Does anyone want to take the lead?
I have an idea, so I can say what kind of Asian I was this week.
Okay. Youngmi, what kind of Asian were you this week?
I was an angry Asian Korean.
Okay.
So I was just like angry. You know, I got out of a relationship. I went through like a breakup a while ago now. I think it's been at least a month and a half. And it was sort of these things where it was like very short. And then I was like, oh God, this is not right. You know, I saw the red flags and I ran. But then it's just kind of like, the bad thing about breaking up with a man is then you don't have a man to yell at, you know, anymore. That's the part I miss. I don't have anyone that's going to disappoint me and make me really fucking annoyed. Like, you know what I mean?
Honestly, this is a thing. Really like, my friend is a financial dom, and that is what she does. Like, she just, like, goes and tells people to pay her and, like, makes fun of them, but all kind of remote. Like, not in person.
What? I would love to do that.
Is it only men or also women? or all types.
I don't know, but like that, like she just like posts like, and you never post your face. It's just like it's very anonymous, and you like, I think you literally just go like give me $500 right now, and you like bully, like you basically like dom until someone gives you $500, but they like, that's the model, that's what they want. Youngmi, you'd be so good at that.
I'll do it in person. I'll show up.
You prefer in person.
I'll like break down your door.
And they're like, whoa, I thought this was remote.
I'll punch you.
I don't care. Well, yeah, it's an extra $1,000 per punch.
I don't care, I'll punch you.
No, I mean like,
that's the
no,
tagline
but to be
for Youngmi.
Yeah.
I'll do it. No, I mean like, but to be serious, it's just like, I think this, you know, I realize now that I'm older that whenever, I feel like when you're older, relationships are like, it's kind of like you're playing out this childhood trauma or this like, you're like, I realize with this relationship that I'm repeating a pattern and I'm trying to resolve it in myself. But it's like I have to resolve this in myself, not with this person. They have nothing to do with me. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I just feel like these relationships, I learn something from them, and whatever, if I keep doing them over and over again, I'm learning each time, I guess. So yeah.
I mean, you're doing the introspective work now, which most people don't do. So that's already like a step ahead.
You know what's so funny? My therapist was like, okay, you need like a Goomba. I don't think she said that. Like she's like, you need a guy that's like, hey, don't touch my girlfriend, like that kind of guy. Like you need like one of these manly men guys. And she was like, not like abusive, but like, you know, like some guy that's gonna like gonna be like a man and like punch somebody in the face if they fuck with you. Like that's the kind of person you need a protector. Like you need you need to
I
try
love that for you.
Yeah, right. So I was like, okay. And then the next day I was walking down the street and this like Staten Island-y like construction guy like started talking to me, and I was like and I was like, oh my God, he's kind of hot. But then I was like, okay, I can't. I'm terrified of him. He's scary.
That's how I feel towards people like that. I don't know how to deal with them. I also have nothing in common. I'm like, no idea what to talk to you about.
But I think that there's something very hot about that person.
Yeah,
like
same.
Like a union guy. Come on.
Well, yeah, a union guy.
Like my fantasy. Yeah, my fantasy is like if I'm like telling him about like some coworker drama, he's like, I'm gonna fucking drive to his house and fucking punch him. And I'm like, that would be so hot. Finally, somebody takes my side, you know?
Yeah.
But my ex was like taking the side of the person I was arguing with, and I was like, what the fuck is your fucking problem?
I hate that.
Ugh, gross. Anyway,
or just like, babe, don't worry about it. I got a pension.
Yeah.
He talks about a pension a lot.
Yeah, it's just always about the pension. Yeah.
It's always about the pension.
You're going to have a fight with someone else, and then you'll be like, dude, don't. We got pension. It's always pension. We got pensions.
Worth it, honey. We got pension.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah.
See, I like that.
Okay, so you need someone to punch. That's
or
the
someone
kind of
that's
summary.
gonna maybe punch me. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Punch for
not
you.
that.
Punch for you.
Punch somebody for me.
Exactly. Okay, we want someone to get punched. That's not us, but an enemy. We want someone to punch an enemy.
Or just threaten. Don't actually go to jail. Just threaten. You know?
Yeah, we just want threats of punches. Punch threats.
No, exactly.
I agree with that. I think that's hot too.
Threatening. It is. Okay, Julia, what kind of Asian were you this week?
I think I've been an anxious / emo Asian, I would say. Like,
oh my God.
I think, okay, last week, I think August is just a weird month in general.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
Always, because it's very, like, dog days of summer. Summer's coming to an end. It's really fucking hot. Last week was, like, very cloudy. You know what I mean? Last week, just, like, that weather kind of made me emo, too, where it's, like, the air is thick, but the sun isn't out, and you're just kind of, like, it just is, there's so much room to spiral, I think. Last week is how I felt. And I think just, like, you know, back to what we were talking about before, I think, like, with the strikes and all that and just, like, lack of work, there's just been too much time and space for me to ask myself, what the fuck am I doing in my life? That and I wish that I could just be, like, go to the beach, go and like go do something fun and relaxing. And like I do sometimes, but I think my natural instinct is to spiral out and like worry about the unforeseen future. I love to worry. It's in my bones.
I'm not like other girls. I'm really worried right now.
So yeah, I would think that's the kind of Asian I was last week.
What's your instinct when you're worrying? Like, is it just to sit there or like to do stuff?
I think I try to distract myself with stuff, like whether it's like go to a workout class, like go fill my like social calendar, like go like out and go drink at night and like go be busy socially, which I do want to do, but sometimes I know when I'm doing that, it's like it's not always because it's like I want to enjoy my friends, which I do. It's more like just busy your mind as much as possible, which is fine, but like also can be bad too. So I think sometimes I like to stew too, where it's like, let me think about every single bad outcome so that in case it happens, I'm mentally and emotionally prepared for it. Which is my therapist. I also had a really good therapy session last week where she was like, I think you do have a tendency to catastrophize and to fixate on negative things. And she said all of these are examples of cognitive distortion.
What does that mean?
What is that? Yeah, what is that?
It's about patterns of thinking that are usually negative, that it just like loops in your brain that you can't kind of get out of thinking that way. Where you're like distorting what reality is by making it negative and by trying to think of the worst outcome, so you probably feel in control because you already know that it could happen. But even though like that's so bad though, because it doesn't mean it's going to happen, there's a good chance it won't happen, but by thinking about it you feel like you're controlling it when actually you might be like it might be a self-fulfilling prophecy in some ways.
I don't know,
that
makes sense.
It's like lame to say, but I do think positive thinking is actually very powerful in a way that I'm like, I don't do it, don't get me wrong. I don't fucking do it. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole, but
you're right.
I can understand how your thoughts can lead to reality.
Totally.
I saw this like she's like Asian Harvard student on TikTok and I don't even know what she studies, but she studies something like that, like psychology pattern, blah blah blah, and she's like it's so easy to not easy, but it's like pretty simple to break it. You just like say this one little thing in your head all the time and then it will create this new pattern. So I've been like following her on TikTok, but then I'm like, oh yeah, I am like always in this loop of negative thinking. Like I noticed that when I saw that, or you know, like when I heard you saying that.
Yeah.
Wait, what did she tell you to say over and over, or do you have to come up with your own?
It was like I feel like she has a bunch of videos, but one of the things were just like maybe I don't even know if this was her, but she says like if you see something this was not her, this was somebody else, but Lucas, like this is the kind of TikToks that I'm watching, everyone.
I love it.
now you know, but this one other person was like, when you're walking around like outside and like you're single and you're like thinking, why is it that I don't see the kind of person that I want to date ever in the world, right? What you do is whenever you see someone that like is attractive, or you see someone doing something that you would want in a partner, you're like, you say something, and then by doing that, your brain is going to notice that more and more and more, and then you're going to keep seeing it over and over and over again, and then it's going to lead you to, like, I don't know, flirt or interact with that kind of person. But you have to say something when you see that, so then your brain picks up on that or something.
That makes sense.
Stuff like that. I don't know. Am I going to do any of it? Fuck no. I'm going to rot away in my living room having bad thoughts.
I know. It's like the hard part is that it's so deep seated in the way you live, just like are existing, that it's like so hard to break out of it when it's happening, because it's just happening. I'm like, I don't know. It's just like automatic. I also agree that the end of summer is kind of depressing.
August.
Yeah, August is depressing.
It's the dead, rotten fruit month. The fruit rots on the...
That's exactly what it is.
Yep.
Literally.
All the fruit flies are like here.
The fruits have fallen on the ground, and now they're getting overripe.
Yeah.
But then, like, September, October, cute.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it kind of gets depressing again.
For sure.
Yeah. I've also, like, been in a similar mood, and I haven't been feeling creative. And then it's like it's this like cycle because I'm like not feeling great, and then I don't feel like making anything funny, and then I'm not making anything funny, so then I feel bad, and it's like this cycle that goes around and around and around where I'm just like, oh well, like what am I doing with my life if I'm not, why do I need to be funny, like that cycle has been happening to me specifically in August. I feel like it's maybe we're breaking out of it right now, but like the first like couple weeks, the first 2 weeks of August, I was like really down on myself. I was like, oh wow, I don't feel like a comedian at all. And so that's what I've been doing. Like I've been thinking about my resume a lot. Like I need to update my resume and all that. But yeah, I feel you so hard. It's a weird time.
Weird time.
I don't love it.
I can't believe that we're both like really trying to get back into that office life.
I know. Wow. We shouldn't be there.
No, we're not meant to be there.
We're not meant to be there. It's like when I'm in the office, they're like, and she's the kooky one who does comedy. Like, like I'm become that one, and I'm not that kooky. I'm pretty normal when you put me in a comedy circle.
It's for the pool. Think of the pool, both of you. I know you don't want to be in the office environment, but do you want that pool?
No, I love being stupid during a weekday. I love doing stupid shit.
I love a Tuesday at 2 p.m. and being like, guess I'm going to go buy yarn and see if I can make a cool craft thing that I saw on TikTok. Like
that is so my life.
That is like, and I do love that. But then, I'm not making money during it, so.
Do y'all craft? Do you guys make shit? Dumb shit?
I do, every once in a while, I'll get into it and I'll buy all the stuff and I'll almost finish one thing and then I'll forget about it. Never
100%. That's me with embroidery. I got into embroidery so hard, and then I went in so hard. Like I bought stuff, I started embroidering clothes, and I never finished a single thing I started.
I love embroidery though. That's cool.
I know. I think I'm going to get back into it because I think I need to like do like something, just something that like ends with a product.
An Asian, not Asian first. Just women talking about embroidery, crafts.
Okay, we're talking
Fumi
about crafts.
And Mike could have this conversation? I didn't think so.
We're talking about crafts, and then also you both have brought up your therapists, like actively on your own. And I'm like, let me tell you, those two did not talk about therapy, nor did they go to a therapist. So I'm like, this is like, I'm loving it.
Are neither of them in therapy? I thought Fumi was in therapy. Maybe he's not.
Maybe Fumi is, but I don't think Mike is. Not to drag Mike on this podcast.
I remember last time I did the episode and we had like a therapist on, remember?
Yeah.
And we were just saying sort of like, you know, like first month in therapy stuff, Julia. Like,
level 1.
You can express your emotions if you want. We were saying things like that and Mike was like, my mind is blown. And I was just like...
Literally, Mike was like, holy shit.
What?
I'm like, okay, cool.
Like, these are only things I say to my baby when I don't think anyone else is around.
Okay, cool. Well, I was like also wanted to just talk about life updates, though we just did a lot of it, but only because I am moving tomorrow and it's been a nightmare, but actually it hasn't been a nightmare. I realize it's just moving, and I know Julia just went through this. But yeah, I was like, okay, we kind of have some life updates. I'm moving, Julia moved. It was, I think, really bad for you, Julia. Not so bad for me, but it's feeling bad right now, like packing and all this stuff. But yeah, like wanted to just like hear what your summer's been like pre-August, like pre-August depression, just like life updates.
Julia, why was moving bad for you? Can you talk about it? Or
moving was terrible for me because I could not find a place to live by myself. I was determined to live alone, and I was in LA for January and February, and I put all my stuff in storage. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, I'll easily find a place within like a few weeks of coming back. LOL. It was truly, I looked at over 20 places. I applied to maybe 8 or 9 and was just either getting ghosted or getting straight up rejected. I went to an open house of an apartment that 50 other people were at. And that also just added to, like, I was seeing the people who were also looking at the apartments and I was looking at, like, very, like, reasonable for New York 1-bedroom places. I'm not looking at fancy new buildings. I'm looking at just, like, 1 bedrooms in neighborhoods I like nothing absolutely insane. And just seeing the people that I was up against, I was like, I'm not going to get this unit. Because on paper, I'm like, cool, freelance, creative, artist, swimming in or 199, like 1099s. Like, 1099s. Nobody is going to want that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though I can pay my bills. Yeah. Like, I just was like, okay, here is a very successful corporate couple who were, like, looking at places. They're like, God, this is a steal. I'm like, bitch, if you think this is a steal, you should not be applying for this apartment.
Right.
It was just so discouraging, and there was so little on the market. I mean, like, did you guys see that article yesterday? There's over 13,000 rent stabilized units in New York that have been empty for over 2 years. It's crazy. It's crazy because those places require a lot of money to get up to code to get back on the market, and landlords say that they do not have the money for that. And I think the city is trying to, like, give them some kind of incentive to like, give them money so that they can bring it back up to speed. But it's crazy, and it's just, housing here is just so unbelievably frustrating and gross.
Yes.
And I mean, I was just like, I don't know if I'm going to get a place. And, like, thank God for my friend that I'm so grateful for, who was moving out and was like, you know, you can take over my spot. So, but if it wasn't for her, I was truly like, I don't know what I'm going to do.
It's wild. Like, sometimes I leave my body and I'm like, oh, these are all made up things. Like, 40x rent is literally made up. Like, someone just said it and it's just like the rule now. Like, brokers' fees, made up. They don't exist like in other places.
The system's so broken.
Like, it just, like, makes it impossible for anyone who's not, like, you know, making 6 figures at a desk job to ever get a place to live. It's
also,
wild.
I just want to say, I love it when, like, that couple, I love it when rich people say really loud, this is a steal, and it's like $50,000. Like, you know, if you ever go to, like, a fancy store, I feel like old Asian women always do this, like at the Chanel store. How much is this purse? $10,000. It's only $10,000? Like, shut up, bitch. Like, why are you saying that about this apartment, like, in New York? It's not a steal.
Literally walking around surrounded by strangers, also looking at this apartment. I was laughing out loud. I was like, oh my God. Like, I was losing my mind. I probably looked insane.
I'm going to start saying things like that.
This is a joke.
Yeah. Well, you should have walked around and been like, pointed out all the problems. Whoa, not enough crown molding for me. Would prefer more. Would go elsewhere.
It's not the price. The price is too cheap.
Yeah. It's actually embarrassing how cheap this place is. If I had any self-respect, I would go somewhere else. Like, try to, like...
Could have. Damn it.
That's so funny.
It's crazy. One day, I want to be in that position where I'm walking around and I'm like, I'll just, you know, like, this is cheap. I'll take it. Like, I just want that.
Why not just do it now, Jenny? Let's just all of us walk around. Let's go to open houses and be like, how much is it? Oh, I can't pay that. That's embarrassing. People will think I'm poor. And run out.
You're right. Nothing's holding me back. That's what I'm learning from this episode. Asian women can do anything, including lie at open houses.
Maybe this is like the psychology Harvard person's, like, tip. Like, just act like you're rich and you will become rich. Like, just go to open houses for, like, a $50 million apartment. Like, I'll take it. Ha ha ha.
Yeah. I hate money. But do you feel good now that you've moved? Like, are you loving living alone?
I love it so much. I've been having so much fun, like, nesting and making it cute and, like, you know, designing it the way I want to. But now I'm also like, cool, I've never spent this much money on rent and bills before. Because single tax is real. It's so fucking real. And like, I mean, Youngmi, you also pay for a child. Like, it's like, it's crazy how people are supposed to do this in New York. So that's like a new little stress on my back, but I think it's worth it. And I'm really enjoying it at the moment. So
money is
figured out.
I swear, like, I want to be in a relationship just so I can find a nice apartment and split the one bedroom rent at this point.
I think that's so many people.
Yeah.
I think that is a big factor of dating in New York City.
Yes. It's like, I don't even care about the emotional part sometimes. Like, if we can split rent, I'll be happy.
For sure.
It's so crazy.
I can tolerate you and rent is half. Cool.
Yeah. And are you clean enough? Great.
You know where I'm recording this ad from on top of my Helix Sleep Mattress. Okay, not really. I am in the same room as my Helix Sleep Mattress. For years, I had those cheap, crappy mattresses you get from some big box store. And since I got my Helix mattress a couple years ago, I sleep better and recover from jujitsu better. Yes, I managed to sneak jujitsu into this ad. And now that I've got my son, it's even better. We get to snuggle on there and read books, and it's awesome. He falls asleep on there all the time. Helix offers 20 unique mattresses, including the very fancy schmancy Luxe collection. Helix offers all kinds of mattresses, from mattresses with memory foam for side sleepers to responsive foam for stomach and back sleepers. There's even mattresses for big and tall sleepers and for kids. Take the Helix Sleep Quiz to find your perfect mattress in just 2 minutes. When you're ready, your personalized mattress is sent right to your door free of charge. But don't just take my word for it. Helix offers a 100-night trial and a 10 to 15-year warranty to try out your new mattress. Check it out and go to helixsleep.com/Asian and enter promo code HelixPartner to get 20% off. That's right. It's helixsleep.com/Asian, promo code HelixPartner to get 20% off.
I have to say, Julia, your apartment looks amazing.
It looks so cute.
Thank you.
It looks
thank you
really great.
I feel like both of you have really good taste. Like, you guys have very good...
have good taste.
Okay, thanks. But yeah, also Youngmi, I love your hair. This is becoming
really
very girl,
good.
like women, but I was like, love that hair.
Thank
Your hair is
you.
really good.
It's so good. I still, I miss being blonde sometimes. Like, just like doing something with my hair. I feel like you should do it now during the strike.
I don't have
just do it.
$500.
Yeah, it's so expensive.
But yeah, my friend does my hair for me.
Honestly, money is like the reason I'm not doing it right now, just because of upkeep too.
Okay, if a listener will do it, anyone in New York want to do it? Yeah, I want to do it for free. Julia's hair is short, and I think she would look great in like a lighter color. Yeah, please reach out.
And I will pay you. I just can't pay you
$500.
all of it.
Yeah.
And if you make it, because I want like it like almost like a white blonde, like a super, super platinum. And if you can do that without making my hair fall out, we'll be friends.
Love that. Okay, and then Youngmi, can I ask about your writings? The last time you did a solo ep, we talked about your book. How is the process?
Okay, so it's really bad, but it's like it's weird. It's okay. It's weird because the truth is it's fucking amazing that somebody fucking paid me to write a fucking book to sit at home, and that's fucking amazing. Nobody gets awesome. Not a lot of people get that privilege. It's a huge privilege, and I know there's so many people. For me, the process was relatively quick, but I know there's so many people out there that really want to write a book and struggle with selling it. And like the fact that I even got a deal is like this absolute dream come true. So I'm like aware of how happy I am that happened for me, because I never in a million years thought that would happen for me. But then I guess this is kind of in line with the negative thinking. I have to fight against this, like the thoughts in my brain telling me that I'm like a loser and a piece of shit and I'm bad at this, and I it's like a constant struggle, and it really fucks with me. And I think Julia was kind of touching on this, where it's like I can see how that is the thing that's harming me and stopping me, and it's like those thoughts are creating this reality, and then that stops me, and then I'm not writing, and I'm not doing a good enough job because I'm spending so much time hating on myself, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's so exhausting when you have these negative thoughts, because a large portion of my time is spent like battling them. Telling them to shut the fuck up so I can actually sit down and write. And it's like such a waste of my time. And, you know, it does make me really sad sometimes when I think about like the self-hatred and how much it harms people, and like, you know, how much it harms me. And I'm like, dude, if I just, can you imagine? And I know a lot of people who are creative, or like, you know, work in any sort of creative field, or where you have to create, you know, produce something from your brain, struggle with this. But can you imagine what life would be like if all of those thoughts were gone, and you just woke up and you just did your fucking art at 8 a.m. to like 4 p.m. every day? Can you imagine?
I swear, it's literally every white man in an intro improv class.
Exactly. How
it's
great.
that.
Just to think that everything you say is brilliant.
Yeah.
And not because like literally 90% of my day every day is trying to fight this invasive idea that I'm like, everything I say is worthless and I'm stupid. And then I write for 20 minutes after crying and masturbating, you know, like it's like like I toil and suffer all day, and then I finally sit down and I'm like, I can do this. Like if I took away all the self-hatred, I can't even imagine what kind of life that would be. So I think the struggle, and I think a lot of people who say, you know, writing is hard, I think that's what they're talking about, right? Like the struggle of like feeling good enough, or not feeling judgmental about yourself.
Totally.
Like that's been my main struggle. And then the truth is, when I do actually finally sit down and write something, I'm like, okay, this is good. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. It's not bad. Like, why was I fucking crying all afternoon? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think that's like I don't know if everyone means it this way, but when I say writing is hard, it's because like 90% of it is me, you know, trying to like stop that voice, the self-hatred voice. That's the hard part. Yeah.
I think that's so valid. My problem is when I write, I self-edit over and over again. Like just like I go through the thing over and over again rather than moving forward, because I feel like if it's not perfect, then I'm failing myself. But then I don't move forward, and I just get stuck looking at what I already wrote, and then I'm like, what am I like, what and then I stop, and then I just cannot produce more.
And then doesn't even make any sense, because you've been looking at it for 8 hours and it doesn't make any sense anymore.
Yeah, and you convince yourself it's actually bad at a certain point. You're like, actually this is really bad. It's horrible.
I think that like, and I'm saying this and I don't do it, but in theory, I think with writing, like, you just have to puke. Just puke it all up. Puke it all up. Be like, I'm puking. This is vomit. And I know that. Like, it's not supposed to be, yum, yum. It's vomit. Yeah. You puked it up. You're not eating it.
Right.
You're not smelling it. You're just like, I'm actively puking right now.
Yeah.
And then later, I'm going to figure out how to make it not puke.
You're going to rinse it out and find the edible pieces. Yeah.
Be like, I'm going to garnish this in a really nice way, and it's going to be like,
I'm going to plate it later. Yeah.
I'm going to plate it later. That's so gross. Plating puke. But
it's going to be beautiful.
It's true, though. It's like, you can't think about it. You just have to do it. And so like editing, I always edit. I edit while I'm writing too, and I think it actually is it's detrimental in some ways.
It is. Okay, I've been going to a lot of improv shows, so this is so annoying.
Let's talk about that. What's going on there, Jenny?
I'm kind of regressing. Everything is kind of falling apart. But I'm like back, like, not that I'm trying to pull back on improv, but I've been going to see friends perform and stuff. And I have noticed that my biggest struggle always has been I can't get on stage because I'm thinking about my next move, overthinking my next move, because I don't want to make a mistake and bring everyone down. Sure. And then I notice, especially men, just walk out there and make they'll say anything. And that's like the point of it, is that you're supposed to like just follow your instincts and get out there. Yeah. And I was just watching and I was like, why do I overthink literally every move that I do? And it's much like my writing. Like, why do I overthink every premise? Why do I overthink every video I make, like everything has to be like really high quality or like the best. And if it's not, then I'm a failure. Because I'm watching all these other dudes like step out and be stupid, goofy, whatever. And then like they figure it out in the process. And I'm like, I need to like harness that energy of like, because that is most of what's holding me back is my own anxiety of like not being good enough.
And especially with improv, where that's actually the point, where you're supposed to just be like, you just be blah. Just do a blah. Yeah.
Don't
it
think
is.
Twice.
Yeah, don't think twice. Actively puke. Someone
Literally
will clean it up.
Think. Do not think. I think that we all are thinking
We're
too much
thinking
because our
too
brains
much.
are too big.
Don't think.
Yeah.
Our girl brains are too fucking strong and powerful.
Yeah.
And we actually need to like take them down a couple notches.
Yeah, we're that brain meme at the bottom where it's like too many connections. Like we got to be the first little
For
brain.
real.
Yeah.
Just one thought.
Yeah, one thought. I need to have only one thought ever
You
in my
gotta
brain
be like
at one time.
the Staten Island construction guy when your girlfriend tells a story about fighting with her coworker, and you're like, I'm gonna go fucking kill him.
Yeah,
That's
you need
that's
the
all
union guy. You need union guy pension energy. Well, I got pension.
Seriously, we need
We have
pension
to
energy.
be we have to be the
One thing I
union
wanna think
guy
about, my
that we want to
pension.
see in the world. Yeah, the pension. We have to
Pension energy.
forget about trying to get him as a boyfriend. We have to become him.
Yeah,
That's
oh my
seriously.
god. Yeah,
There
you're
we
gonna
go.
want
Yes.
your next stand-up set's just gonna be like literally just like the like one thought.
Can we make
Did you
merch
look at
that
my
says pension
girlfriend?
energy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me tell you about my
pension
pension.
energy. Hey, I'll just embroider it real quick. You know how quick I can embroider that.
All joking aside, if you're this kind of man, please
say
hit me up.
pension on them.
Oh my god,
pension.
yes. I feel like are you starting your jewelry back up again? Kind of noticed more posts.
Look, it's kind of how you were describing embroidering. Like sometimes I really like it and I get into it, and then I'm like, I'm burnt out. I don't want to anymore. But I actually think I kind of want to again because
They're so cute. If you want to plug it here.
Early
What is it
retirement.
called? Yeah, early retirement. So cute. Check it out on Instagram. Okay, cool. I have one topic that I brought up that has nothing to do with anything we talked about. But basically, I saw on TikTok this thing go viral. And I do think most of the conversation's happening amongst like younger folks, like Gen Z. But it was about the discourse over all Asian friend groups. And it just started with a dude who like posted like a text only TikTok that was like, I hate all Asian friend groups. And it has like spread into like a bunch of people discussing that like topic. And I've heard multiple different takes on it, but I wanted to bring it up here because it feels relevant about what your thoughts are on all Asian friend groups, whether they're toxic, whether they're not toxic. I also want to flag that I think this is a very California based conversation as a person from California, because when I talk to people not from California, they don't understand where this is coming from.
Well, I have so many thoughts on this, but before I say anything, I just want to say that I think it's kind of like, it's a little like not racist, but it's like every friend group is toxic, and I think it's unfair to single out Asian friend groups.
Yeah.
But then I feel like they are toxic in a very specific way.
Yeah.
But my theory, and I've actually told people this, it's like the same theory as like that I have about Asian people. It's just they're either evil or good. There's like so few that are in the
It's a binary.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a binary. It's like your uncle that went to jail for tax evasion and beats his wife, or like the nicest person you've ever met. It's like, and I feel like the friend groups are like that too. Asian friend groups. If I know one fucked up Asian person and I see everyone in their friend group, all of them fucking suck. It's like they like swarm together, and like now if I like meet one Asian person and I like don't like them, like every time like I see the mutuals on Instagram, I'm like, oh, all of these people suck. And I'm always right. It's always true. So it's either like they're good or bad. That's my theory.
I did not understand. Like I would not have understood this conversation unless I had my Berkeley experience.
Ooh,
like
what's that?
I went to a predominantly white school, so there was like no real like, I don't know, there wasn't like the Asian people were the majority, so like kind of Asian people, like, and you end up knowing every single Asian person by virtue of like being the minority. You like have Asian groups and like, you know, I was like in and out of them, but I knew every single person who was Asian. And then I went to Berkeley where it's majority Asian. And all of a sudden I was like put in the majority, and all of a sudden there's segments within that Asian community. So like I have never felt more like pointed to as an Asian person than when I was in a majority Asian place. And of those majority, they're mostly California Asians. So it's a lot of people who grew up in majority Asian places. So it was like the first, I did not expect to like show up to college and immediately be asked what kind of Asian I am by Asian people so much. Like it was immediate. Like I got asked 3 times on the first day if I'm Korean, and I just like, no one ever asked me what Asian I was before. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, I'm like being profiled right now, or like being like categorized right now. And then like in my experience there, I learned, I was like, oh, there's like this flavor of California Asian where they all like are insular, like they all swarm together, and they like kind of are like the cool Asians. And you know, I liked like sketch comedy. Like I was like, should we talk about last week's 30 Rock
Asian
episode? Yeah. I was like, is anyone else interested in talking about UCB for Second City? Like I was like in my own little like bubble of like wanting to like, you know, I had my own like niche interests. Yeah. And I like liked listening to indie rock, and I was like not fitting in. Like I was like not melding in with everyone else.
Were there like theater Asians?
There not very many.
Like country, or was it like fashion Asians, queer Asians, like Asians?
There were some that are by country, right? Like you have like your Koreans, and then you have like your Filipinos or whatever. Like there are groups like that. But then there is also like this general like cool Asian vibe. I'm trying my best to like explain it, because it's like not just like East Asian, South Asian. It doesn't break down like that. It's literally like a vibe. Like you dress like you're from Southern California. You like hang out with all the Asians. You're like, you know, you're like eating Korean barbecue and like having your boba, and you're like kind of like, you're like pretty, like conventionally pretty. At the time it was the swoop bangs and like knee-high boots era for me. But there was like, I couldn't break into that. Like I wasn't listening to the same music. I didn't have the same interests. I like, my sense of humor was not the same. And like
kind of basic Asian.
Yeah. It's it's like a basic Asian, but it's also very insular. It's like
the balayage.
Balayage, ombre.
I absolutely had balayage.
I've never met that kind of Asian. I feel like in California, I did not hang out with Asian people.
Really? I didn't know how to avoid it.
Oh, I didn't
They
go
were
to
just
college.
like all around me. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, specifically at Berkeley, but like, I think that's what this conversation is about. It's like the people who like keep you out almost, or like you're like, you don't fit in with us. Like you don't fit in with us. Maybe it's that. I'm trying to like put a finger on it, because I understand the sentiment of it. Yeah.
Also, I think I know that like I'm like really, I know I started this conversation like, oh, it's racist to say. I think there is something about Asian cultures where the whole group like swarm mentality is maybe slightly stronger than other people. You know, like the whole like for white people, there are some white people that do like fraternities, sororities, but like I feel like the percentage of Asian people who want to do something like that is higher. I don't know, just like from what I've seen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the fitting in, the basic whatever thing is a big thing, and it's for a lot of them.
Also really competitive in my, like from the groups I've seen, they're like all kind of like internally competitive. Like they're all trying to like get the best consulting job. Yeah, or like buy the biggest house, or like get the nicest purse. I don't know, maybe it's just like buying into model minority. Like maybe it's just like the people who are like who are like embracing that, like not questioning where we sit next to like other races or something like that, but like
the status quo Asians.
Yeah, status quo Asians. It is that. It's like the people.
It's a group of Asian people for sure. And I'm not to like, I feel like I agree. They're all kind of toxic. It's like they're. Yeah. I feel like when I saw that TikTok, I was like, I think I understand what this person's talking about, even though I don't really have that much experience with it.
If I had to guess, it's the people who are against affirmative action. That's literally how I'm going to boil it down. Like, it's like the people who are like, no, actually affirmative action is hurting us as Asian people. It's like those people. It's like that energy group where they don't question like the actual system at all. There are a lot. I understand that feeling.
What were like the two sides of the discourse on TikTok? Like what were kind of the polarizing opinions?
Well, I don't know if there's a dissenting. I mean, there's obviously people who are like this, don't understand the discourse at all. But I saw like one person break it down really well, which is like, it's not like East Asians are top, though that there's a whole conversation about that. It doesn't even break into like individual. It's literally just like there is a group of people who like buy into like, we love K-pop and boba and like whatever. And we're like, they're all conventionally pretty and they're all generally straight. And like, we want to get like a 6-figure job and buy a Tesla and whatever. And if you like don't fit into that, they're going to be mean to you. Like you're not welcomed here.
I think, I've seen, this is like, I think if people are listening to this and they don't understand, if they don't like, are not around it, it's like, it is literally like the equivalent of like a sorority or a fraternity for white people. But for Asian people, it continues on forever for the rest of their life. They keep in that group. And a lot of them, I think, do either come from growing up together in the same neighborhood or going to the same school or something. But I think that's the, I feel like I don't know. Does that sound like accurate? Like
I think so. I mean, so.
That group,
I feel that.
Those swarm Asian people that are always in their weird little group and they like move together throughout life. Those kind
There's
of Asians
a lot of people like that I know.
Are weird. Are fucking weird.
They like never make friends.
White people definitely do it too, though.
Oh, like, totally.
For sure. Yeah, white people definitely do it too. Yeah,
100%. I mean, I recently had this moment where I was like, I like sometimes see like comedians do this too, where they're all like, there's like all white groups, and sometimes I'm like, do they notice that they're all white? Like, do they ever think about it? I wonder.
They do, and that's why they don't want to hang out with anyone else, because that's like the Asian people that hang out in those groups. It's on purpose.
Right,
and
right.
It's like us versus you, and they just move around in that group, and they always want to have dinner with 25 people, and I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like any of these Asian people.
There are groups that move in like 15. There's like 15 of them, and every dinner, all 15 of them are there, and you're like, how do you even organize this? It's crazy to get a table for 15 people anywhere. Like, good for you guys, but like that's wild. It could be so much easier. That's definitely
a thing. That's a Californian thing too, I think.
That is,
I think
maybe.
They all move in groups of 15.
No wonder I struggled in college.
I mean, I know what this phenomenon is because I have West Coast cousins in Washington who are Chinese and Japanese.
Yeah.
And like, I think their friend group all seems Asian and I think predominantly straight, but I'm not sure. But I will say, one thing that I do think is cool about my cousins is they're two guys. They like... Well, I don't know if it's cool, but I respect that they like appreciate Asian women and are attracted to Asian women and want to be with Asian women because, I mean, that feels sometimes rare in some ways as well, where like, I don't know, like I think that there's so many, and it's not like a right or wrong thing. It's just sometimes nice that like Asian people are also like, yeah, we're hot.
Yeah, I understand that too. Like, it's like nice to like have a community.
Yeah, and
yeah,
like I've talked about dating with them, and I'm like, I remember I asked my cousin, I was like, have you like dated women of other races? And he's like, yeah, I've dated, and he was like telling me about like dating white women. He's like, they get really fucking weird about race really fast, and I'm like, yeah, that's fair.
That's
and
also
like,
fair. Yeah,
have made him feel like fetishized and weird too, and so
right.
I appreciate that he like wants someone who he doesn't feel that way about. He wouldn't do that to either. And so there's that. But I'm also like, I'm a Midwestern halvesy. So I'm like, that is so not my reality.
I know.
Like I went to a very big school and there were very few Asians. Many of us were half, and I feel like we all kind of spread out. We're like, we gotta blend in,
Yeah.
Some people might think we're Latina.
Yeah.
And Like it just, so that was just so not my experience growing up at all.
Yeah.
I don't really know what it's like.
It's so specific, I think, to like California. There might be pockets other places, but I really think like in California, there are so many Asian people, especially in like certain pockets. Because even my experience in the Bay Area is different than like someone in like Fremont, which is like just more Asian. So it is like so hyper local, like based on where you grew up. And I realize like every time I talk to someone not from California, they're like, we don't know what that even feels like. And it is really hard to explain. I tried to explain it like 10 years ago, like when I was close to it, to other Asian people. And I like wasn't to other California Asians, and they couldn't get it. Like, because they didn't have the flip side of being like a like being really a minority in like a very white space. So it's very interesting.
Yeah, but like Julia said, there are positives, and I'm glad that you said that. Like, it's like there is a positive to hanging out with a big friend group that looks and like you and knows what you're going through, and maybe that is why that tends to happen so much with Asian people, you know.
And every group of people can be toxic.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
So
diverse ones too.
Yeah, anyone can be a toxic friend group.
Has anyone been in like a workplace situation or a school situation with more than like 5 people where like there was zero toxic energy? No,
it's always toxic.
No.
Yeah,
and you know what?
Yeah.
I would probably get bored and decide to become the toxic one if I'm being honest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're just like, all right, time to bully somebody.
Yeah. Time to make somebody question reality around here.
Yeah. Okay, well, guys, thank you for hanging out with me. I can't believe I'm moving tomorrow. What a psychotic decision for me to do this. Like, I have to go
Text
home
me
and
if you need
pack.
help.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, I don't even know who I am right now, or like where I am. I'm like in another apartment right now, just kind of recording this. But thank you so much for hanging out. For folks who want to find your work, where can they find you?
You can find me at YM Mayer on social media or Youngmi Mayer on TikTok. Yeah.
And you can find me at Julia Shiplett on everything.
Gorgeous. And you can always find the podcast on Instagram at Asian Not Asian Pod. And you can find me at Jenny Arimoto also on any social media, including Threads, where I've decided to be unhinged and post a lot because no one is looking at it.
True. Follow us all on Threads.
Follow me on Threads.
Right now. I literally, you're going to be like, why is she even... I like post like 3 things at a time now because I'm just like, I don't care. And no one's looking at it.
I keep forgetting about it.
I've deleted the Twitter app off my phone. So my go-to place is now Threads.
Nice.
It's not good. It's like a horrible place to be, but it's like Twitter's also horrible, so whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, see my unhinged thoughts there. Any last parting words that we may want to say?
Just find 15 Asian people and join a toxic Asian friend group. Because
I'm gonna throw a dinner party with 15 Asian people, and then we can decide who's the toxic one in it.
Yeah.
It'll be like a murder mystery party.
Yes.
Okay. I'm putting my name down.
Yeah. It's gonna become fucked up. Anyways, thank you all for listening. Have a good life. Bye.
Bye.